courtyard of Dublin Castle here, okay, the second courtyard. Our main point of interest here is the record tower over here behind us, alright? It says the only original part of Dublin Castle still left standing, dating from 1230. Originally built like the Tower of London as a jail. Now it's just the tower itself. The chapel beside it was added on many years later, okay? This was the Lord Lieutenant's private chapel. The Lord Lieutenant was the royal representative here in Ireland, like the Governor of Ireland. So this is the private chapel of the Lord Lieutenant. The record tower is what we're going to talk about. Originally built, as I said, like the Tower of London as a jail. The majority of the walls in this building are up to 4.5 meters thick. 4.5 meters thick. For those of you still working in the old currency, it's about 17 and a half feet thick. Okay? Stand yourself locked up in here, kicking your way out through the walls, definitely not an option. In 1587, a series of unfortunate events, and it has to be said to a certain degree his own stupidity. A man called Red Hugh O'Donnell found himself locked up here in the tower. Now, Red Hugh was the son of the High King of Tyrconnell in the north of the country. One day, Red Hugh and a friend of his, they're out for a walk. They're walking by the river right by their settlement. A boat comes into view, sails over, the boat lands right beside the settlement. This boat is filled with casks of wine. Red Hugh and his friend, they approach the boat. Sirs, they say to the nice English crew on board, sirs, can we buy some of your lovely wine? The wine is not for sale, chaps, they're told. However, why don't you come aboard and have a drink with us? Well, why not? Why not? Red Hugh and his friend, they get on the boat. Goblet of wine, another goblet of wine, more goblets of wine, late into the night and most of the next day, having a drink with these guys, okay? A very civilized scene. The Irish, the English, sitting down, having a drink, discussing the issues of the day. Lovely, civilized scene. 2 days later, Red Hugh O'Donnell wakes with the worst hangover in recorded history. His hangover is not helped by the fact that when he opens his eyes, what he sees is the inside of the cell that he is locked in the record tower. He is being the victim of a British plot. Now, the whole idea behind this plot, many of these families in the north of Ireland at the time are fermenting rebellion against the British. The idea the British have is they will kidnap many of the sons of these royal families and imprison them, hold them for ransom, use them as bargaining chips, try and quell any rebellion that is going to take place in the north of the country. So that is why Red Hugh finds himself locked up in here in 1587. For 5 years he's in the tower with no prospect of escape. And then in 1592, two old friends of his from a neighbouring clan in the north of the country, Art O'Neill and Rory O'Neill, they're sitting down by the fire, they're having a couple of drinks and they're feeling brave. They come up with a plan. We're going to go to Dublin and we're going to bust our friend out of jail. This is the idea they have. They disguise themselves, they get down to Dublin, they make their way into the tower and they find where Hugh is locked up. And they do just that. They bust him out of jail. And when they do, they head for the basement of the record tower and they start to dig down. Now, underneath the whole complex of Dublin Castle to this very day runs a river called the River Poddle. Poddle is subterranean till about half a mile beyond the old medieval city walls. So the guys dig down, they find the river, they follow the river out, it comes above ground outside the old medieval city, they're free. They head south to County Wicklow, a mountainous region just south of Dublin. They head here to hide out. Unfortunately, they do this in the middle of winter, dressed in nothing but the prison-issue sackcloth and bare feet that they've disguised themselves in. One of the O'Neill brothers dies from the cold. Red Hugh O'Donnell himself loses a number of toes to frostbite. Finally, months later, 2 survivors make their way back to their homeland in the north. Immediately, they start to work on a plan, okay? Now at this time, Spain is also at war with Britain, okay? So the Spanish are contacted by the Irish rebels. The idea is the Spanish will send an armada, they will join together with the warring families in the north, and together they will drive the English out of Ireland. An excellent plan, an excellent plan. However, unfortunately, our Spanish friends arrived in the wrong place. 2 weeks late. Cultural stereotypes? Come on in. Alright? The Spanish arrived late and in the wrong place. They arrived in Kinsale, County Cork, southern tip of Ireland. So the Spanish are in the south, the warring families, the Irish rebels are in the north, and here in Dublin, in the centre of the country, is where the British Army are based. The British head south. They intercept the Spanish. The Spanish surrender, the Spanish leave. Rebellion is over before it even starts. This gives rise to something known here as the flight of the Earls. The Earls, the sons of the royal families. Many of these guys decide they're going to leave Ireland. They're going to head for mainland Europe. And there, they're going to spread propaganda. They're going to try and raise money. And ultimately, they're going to try and raise a mercenary army to come back and take on the British. And none of this ever comes to pass, right? And the vast majority of these guys, they never set foot in their homeland again. So a number of years later, our hero, Red Hugh O'Donnell, he's sitting in a tavern in Rome, drowning his sorrows, thinking about what might have been, thinking about the old country that he's never going to see again. Hugh is approached by a very well-spoken English gentleman who says to him, "Sir, can I buy you a drink?" Now, Red Hugh O'Donnell was a great leader of men, right? He was a great propagandist. Unfortunately, he was not the sharpest knife in the drawer, alright? The lights are on, but the house is empty. The last time Hugh accepted wine from an English gentleman, it cost him 7 toes to frostbite and 5 years locked in the record tower. So with this fresh in his memory, Hugh says, "Sir, I would be honoured to have a drink with you." Honoured. The wine is produced, Hugh drinks it down and falls down dead, poisoned by agents of the British Crown. The end of our hero, Red Hugh O'Donnell, the only person who ever escaped imprisonment here in the record tower here in Dublin Castle, okay? A sad and sorry end for a very great man. If anybody has a violin, I will play you the lament of Red Hugh O'Donnell. It's a mournful, mournful thing. You will all be crying by the end of it. So this is the second courtyard, guys. We're going to head from here around the back. We're going to go around to the Dublin Garden. We're going to talk about how Dublin got its name. We're going to talk about the Chester Beatty Library, one of the cultural jewels here in Dublin City.